to Film Addict. I'm your host, the Film Doctor, and I want to talk about some news inside of the movies. We're looking at the possibility of having Sam Raimi. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Sam Raimi. You see it on films, you don't really hear about him often. It doesn't matter. He is, you have Stephen King, who's like the author of horror. This guy, next to like Eli Roth, is like the king or the best at horror in terms of film. So I'm excited. We're talking about Sam Raimi possibly being the director to the new Doctor Strange 2 movie. Now, in one of my episodes of Film Addict, I had talked about how they were talking about the possibility of having Doctor Strange 2 as a horror. So to pick up somebody like Sam Raimi, I think is going to be huge for that franchise. I already am terrified at the fact that they're going to have Sam Raimi. If you don't know who Sam Raimi is, look up a lot of his movies. I mean, he basically does horror movies, and a lot of those horror movies that he's done have been great, have been classics. So that's really the interesting thing, and I'd like to talk about a lot of the what's inside of the news kind of thing that deals with Marvel, because we're starting up again. We had about 10 years, 23, 24 movies of Marvel films. Then they took a 1-year hiatus, and now we're coming back to Marvel films. So you can expect I'm going to be doing a lot of reviews on trailers. I'm going to be doing a lot of reviews on the movies that are out with them. I'm going to talk about them in terms of the news and what's coming. I'm excited for the next 10, 15 years. I literally walk outside inside of bubble wrap just to make sure nothing happens to me, because I can't miss any of these movies for the next 10 years or however long they go. But I want to jump into what's coming soon. Oh my God. Last episode, we had Fast 9. 9 Fast and Furious movies. 9 of them. And those movies were good, except for Tokyo Drift. They were good movies. 9 of them. You can't really have a series, in my eyes, outside of Marvel, which is probably the biggest movie series of all times because it's continuous, so it's talking about the same thing. So to me, that's the longest reigning series of movies that has sequels ever. Fast 9 has 9 movies that are really good. So it's very rare to come across something where you have a lot of these different sequels inside of a series that are good. But this one is in the Saw series. I don't even know what number, 10, 11, 12? I don't know how many Saw movies that they have. I don't know how many times they can do it or beat it to death. The first one was great. Then they did all these Saw movies and they had Jigsaw. So now we have another Saw movie. Granted, a really good actor, Samuel L. Jackson, and another great comedian, and I'll say actor, Chris Rock. So I already think it's going to be funny. So I'm doing the trailer reaction to Saw Spiral on what's coming soon. Let's check it out. All right. Play.
What do you got there?
Oh, this is my wife, Emma. This is my son, Charlie.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Well, last.
Nothing happier than the wife of a new detective.
Emma's cool, man. She's different. You know my wife.
You give a woman 600 Tuesday. It ain't worth 3 Saturday nights.
How much money you got? A lot. How many products you got? A lot. How many people you got? A lot. All available.
I'm sorry.
Officer down.
Ready to drop.
Detective Banks en route.
I just can't see Chris Rock as a comedian, but I guess we'll see.
Whoever did this has another motive. They targeted the cops.
Sam.
Someone's out there pulling all the strings.
A new chapter. Oh God. How many chapters we're gonna have after this?
You wanna play games, motherfucker?
First of all, Jigsaw is like the Jason and Freddy. Like this guy, if he's in this one, that old white guy, I don't know who he is that plays him. But if he's in this one, he's still alive. Like he's invincible. He cannot die. And I don't think Samuel L. Jackson can be in any trailer without saying the word motherfucker. Okay. I think when Samuel L. Jackson dies on his tombstone, it should say, "Here lies this motherfucker." I love Sam Jackson. I love when he swears. I love his acting. I love his movies. Sam Jackson is phenomenal. Chris Rock is phenomenal. So even though I have a distaste for the 87 Saw movies that they've already done, now going into 88, I'm still gonna check it out. It looks good. It looks like it could be funny. Those two actors together in a horror movie, two black people. You know what we talk about when we talk about black people inside of horror movies, and they're both comedians. In my eyes, because Sam Jackson is a comedian, it's gonna be good. Look forward to it. So that's that. Let's talk about new releases. Birds of Prey. Well, the full title, Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of Three Chicks and Harley Quinn, and attempt to talk about women power and blah. It's a long title. It's a long title, and no one really cares. Now, for me, I'm a huge Marvel DC fan. I'm a huge Harley Quinn. I know a lot of people like Harley, whatever. Harley Quinn fan. It's hard for me to talk about this movie without judging it from that aspect as being a fan of DC. And it's hard for me to look at it being a film major versus a moviegoer to be able to analyze this. But I can talk about the things that make it good, the things that make it bad, and you can kind of be the judge on if you want to see it or not. Now, for me, this movie is no different from the all-women Ghostbusters, They just have put a really good character. Looking at Suicide Squad, she was the best character in that, so why not give her a spin-off movie? For me, this movie was a B- for moviegoers. For me, as a filmmaker, I would say maybe a C+. It had great music. I loved actually the music. I came home and I was looking up to try and download a lot of those songs or look them up and find out what they were because they had good music that I hadn't heard before. I love the cinematography with the bright, vibrant colors and the things that they did with certain angles, like when she was on roller skates. That kind of imagery and cinematography I thought was amazing. I don't necessarily like the villain. I like Ewan McGregor. However, I think that wasn't a great villain. He's just a normal person that puts on a black mask. Like, what the hell? Like, that's not a great villain. Although I also complained long ago when Suicide Squad came out about how they're like aliens. I'm like, why are Suicide Squad? Why are they fighting aliens? His villain, it was kind of flamboyant. The acting of that character was not good. I didn't really care for him. I thought he was a terrible villain choice for this movie. The movie is not something I don't think I would watch it back to back to back. I wouldn't watch it multiple times. It's definitely something that can be entertaining that you can watch. I also don't think that they portrayed Harley Quinn's craziness. Like, anybody that ever watched Harley Quinn on, like, the Batman TV show cartoon growing up, I mean, she was crazy. And granted, she was crazy in this one. I just don't think that they captured that crazy side like they should have. The movie was good enough to sit there and watch and be entertained. The movie was good enough to where you'll laugh and you'll chuckle at a lot of different things. She does have a lot of really good badass fighting scenes. I think that they're trying to recreate this Deadpool rated R movie that they had for Marvel with DC and put it out during Valentine's Day close to Valentine's Day like they did with Deadpool. But I don't think this was that Valentine's Day kind of movie. I don't think it owned up to the same kind of reputation as Deadpool. It's definitely something you can go see with your girl or your guy or whatever the case may be. It's a good movie to watch and be entertained. That's mostly what I can say. B- for moviegoers. You can check it out. You'll like it. let's talk about must see. I want to talk about 96 Minutes. This movie is probably hands down one of the most inspiring movies. Next to like Just Mercy that I had suggested, and I think Just Mercy I did in the first episode, and I had talked about how powerful it was and how everyone needs to see it. 96 Minutes is that same movie, same kind of movie. And I say that because I don't even want to talk about the cinematography or the music. All of those things were great inside of this movie. I want to talk about the message, the story, because those things really built that. And I think that I'm almost repeating myself because a lot of the movies that I say are really good, they come from an aspect as being the story that drives them. This movie is good because it talks about a lot of the hate, the people that are out there that want to be hardcore thugs, and I deal with a lot of those fake gangsters who think they're grown adults and I'm a thug and I'm do this and blah, 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 and that doesn't matter. And being guilty by association, getting caught up inside of, crime and criminal acts, lands you inside of situations that you can't necessarily find your way out of. That's what this movie talks about. The racial divide. Basically, the story talks about this kid, this main character, who he's headed inside of a right direction. He wants to, go to school and be educated, but he's in a gang, and he's pretty up there at the top inside of this gang. And then his cousin, this other kid, he wants to be a gangster. He has no direction. He's that fake gangster wannabe. He's really trying to get inside this gang that his cousin's in. And they're out together, and the fake thug, I forget his name. I want to say his name is Kevin. He ends up getting in trouble. Like, he does something. I can say it. He goes to try and carjack these people because that was his way to get into the gang. And when he goes to carjack these people, these two women, now his friend who was headed inside of a good direction, he may be in the gang, but he went and he got, got his stuff together inside of education, and now he's headed to the top, and now his cousin puts him inside the situation where he's spiraling down, and he wants to be able to help his cousin not be in trouble, to head in the same direction as him, and not mess up his own life that he's already trying to perfect to go inside of the right direction. It's such a powerful movie. There's so many shocking points. There's so many powerful, suspenseful moments, and the music adds to that. This movie, in all honesty, I say that it's a must-see, but I don't think you'll be able to find it. I don't think it's on like a Netflix or a Hulu. I don't know where you can find this movie. It's an independent movie, and it's been out for a very long time, just like Illegal Tender that I talked about last episode. This movie is really actually hard to find. If you can find it, I recommend watching it. I recommend buying it. I recommend people of all different kinds of races watching it. Watch it because there's so many racist people inside of the world, and there's so much hate in the world that I think that this movie kind of will set a message, set a tone, and have a feeling that everybody can kind of relate to. It's such a great movie. It's called 96 Minutes. I know a lot of you guys haven't heard of it. Like I said, there's a lot of independent movies out there, and I'm not a fan of independent movies that you guys should check out, that maybe even I should check out. And I've seen a lot of them, and they have been really, really good. And this, I think, is close to the very top of the list, at least inside the top 20 movies. It's such a great independent movie, 96 minutes. Go check it out. That's all I got for you guys today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I'm your host, The Film Doctor, and this has been another exciting episode. I hate when I say exciting, but it's fine. I'm going to say it. Another exciting episode of Filmatic.